Jesus said, "Man cannot live on bread alone, but from every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." You're listening to Daily Truth.
When he brings the firstborn into the world, he says, "Let all God's angels worship him." Even that reminds me of, and this is literal, that when Jesus was born, there were a heavenly host of angels that appeared to the shepherds who were keeping watch of their flocks by night. And they began, such a multitude of angels began worshiping Jesus and praising him and shouting, "Hosanna in the highest, and peace on earth and goodwill towards men." That God appointed when he brought the firstborn into the world, speaking of, again, not the existence of Jesus, but the incarnation of Jesus. God accompanied Jesus' incarnation with a multitude of angels that could not be counted praising him. It seemed only fitting to God that his son would be born into the world with shouts of glory, Hosanna, and praise from a multitude of angels. So Jesus is not an angel, but rather when he is brought into the world, all the angels adore and worship him. Verse 7, of the angels, he says, he makes his angels winds and his ministers a flame of fire. Not too shabby. It's not a bad thing. It's pretty impressive. Angels are like winds and ministers of a flame of fire. But again, the point is the comparison. Angels are not lowly creatures. The argument being made by the apostle is not that Jesus is all right and angels are puny. No, the argument is angels are amazing and Jesus is infinitely more than that. His angels are like winds and ministers of a flame of fire, but the Son of the Son, he says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of uprightness is the scepter of your kingdom. Your throne, O God. The angels serve the one who is on the throne, but Jesus is the one who is enthroned. And in this text, we see that not only is Jesus seated on a throne, but he is addressed as God. Your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of uprightness is the scepter of your kingdom. Jesus is the revelation, the prophet. Jesus is the one who makes purification for sins, the priest. But Jesus is also the high king, King of kings and Lord of lords, who is enthroned in heaven above and who rules the nations with an iron scepter, the scepter of uprightness, the scepter of his kingdom. Verse 9, you have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore God, again addressing Jesus as God, your God, speaking to the Father, has anointed you with the oil of gladness beyond your companions. Your God, therefore God, your God. The author is not being schizophrenic. What he's saying here is he's addressing two gods. Now, not two gods in essence. We have one God, our God is one, but two persons within the Godhead. That Jesus is God, and Jesus, God, namely the Father, has anointed him with the oil of gladness beyond your companions. That's what the word Christ means. Christ means the anointed one. That Jesus is the Christ. He is the one who has been anointed by God the Father as God the Son to redeem his people and to reveal to us the will of God perfectly. In your notes, I've written this: the angels were not only messengers, but they were also, as we see in verses 6 through 9, worshipers. And Jesus is the one that they constantly adore. Even at his birth, they united in worship because God had commanded it. In the first 3 verses of Hebrews, we saw that God had spoken to us by his Son, and that Christ is seated at the right hand of the Majesty on high. Because his saving work is finished, he made purification for sins. In other words, Jesus is the true prophet, the true priest. But here we see that Jesus is also the true king who rules and reigns with the scepter of uprightness.
Wait. Real quick, before you go, do me a favor. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell so you'll be notified with all our new content as it comes out on a daily basis. And if you're willing to support this ministry, you can do so by going to rightresponseministries.com/donate. Thanks so much. God bless.